It was a chilly Thursday morning in the quiet town of Pine Ridge when Ethan Carter's life took another unexpected turn. Grease-stained hands, a faded flannel shirt, and eyes weary with years of silent sacrifice, he was under the hood of an old pickup, trying to coax life into its rusted engine before his shift at the diner. His 9-year-old daughter Lily, bundled in an oversized hoodie, sat cross-legged on a nearby bench, scribbling math problems into her worn-out notebook. Ethan glanced at her now and then, his heart tightening with both pride and guilt. He was doing everything he could, but somehow, it never felt like enough. Ethan had been alone since his wife passed away from cancer 3 years earlier. Since then, life had been a relentless cycle of underpaid jobs, mounting bills, and stolen moments of joy with Lily. The diner barely paid minimum wage, and the garage gigs he picked up on weekends helped keep food on the table. But some days, even that felt like a miracle. That morning, as the sky finally began to thaw with the soft glow of sunrise, a loud rumble echoed down the road. A cherry-red 1967 Ford Mustang pulled into the lot, coughing and sputtering as if it had run its last mile. Ethan turned, squinting at the polished machine out of place in this worn-down part of town. The driver stepped out. She wore oversized sunglasses, a wool trench coat, and a look of quiet frustration. Her long dark hair whipped across her face as the wind picked up. She popped the hood and stared at the steaming engine like it had personally betrayed her. "Need a hand?" Ethan asked, wiping his hands on a rag. The woman looked up, startled, then nodded. "Yes, please. It just started smoking. I don't know much about cars." He walked over, peered inside, and winced. Radiator hose blew. "Nothing fatal, but you'll need a replacement. I can patch it up for now." "Thank you," she said, her voice soft but sure. "I really appreciate it." "No problem," Ethan replied, already reaching for his toolbox. As he worked, the woman knelt beside him, curious. "You know a lot about cars?" "Learned from my old man. Been fixing engines since I was 14. Not much of a career, but it's helped us get by." "Us?" she asked. He motioned toward Lily. "My daughter. She's my whole world." The woman's gaze softened as she looked at the little girl. "She looks smart." "She is. Too smart to be stuck in a town like this." They exchanged quiet smiles. Ethan finished the patch and closed the hood. "You're good to go, at least for now." "How much do I owe you?" she asked. Ethan hesitated. He could have used the cash, but something about her told him she didn't need to pay. "Don't worry about it." She studied him for a long second, then reached into her coat and handed him a business card. "If you ever need anything, call me." He tucked the card into his back pocket, assuming she was just being polite. "Take care," he said. She smiled again, got into the Mustang, and drove off, leaving Ethan wondering who she really was. Days turned into weeks. Life went on with its usual struggle. One night, after another long shift and another overdue bill, Ethan sat on the couch beside Lily, watching her sleep. He pulled the card from his pocket. Maya Whitmore, it read. President, Whitmore Industries. Below was a number and an email. Curious, he Googled her name. His eyes widened. She wasn't just someone with a fancy car, she was the CEO of a billion-dollar tech empire, listed in Forbes as one of the top self-made women in the country. He stared at the screen in disbelief. Why had she come to Pine Ridge? Why had she not said anything? The next day, he sent a brief message thanking her again. To his surprise, she replied almost instantly. They began exchanging emails, then calls. She asked about his life, his dreams. He told her everything, how he wanted to open a real garage someday, how he wanted Lily to go to the best school possible. Maya listened with genuine interest, never interrupting, always encouraging. A month later, she visited again. This time, there was no Mustang trouble. She asked Ethan to walk with her. They strolled through town, passing boarded-up shops and fading signs. You know what I see, she said. What, he asked. Potential. A place full of people who've been forgotten, but who deserve better. Then, to Ethan's utter shock, she offered him a deal. "I want to invest in you. Help you open a garage. Hire others. Train them. Make this town thrive again." He was speechless. "Why me?" "Because you helped me when you didn't have to. And because I see the kind of man who deserves a shot." With tears in his eyes, he accepted. The months that followed changed everything. Maya helped him secure the property, hired contractors, and even pulled strings to get Lily a scholarship to one of the best schools in the state. The Carter garage opened with a ribbon-cutting ceremony, and half the town came to celebrate. Ethan, once seen as just another struggling single dad, became a symbol of resilience and hope. But it wasn't just about money or success. It was about two people, one who had everything, yet needed real connection, and one who had nothing, yet never stopped giving. Their bond deepened, quietly and beautifully. Maya visited often, and soon, she wasn't just a business partner. She was someone Lily began calling Aunt Maya, and eventually, something more to Ethan as well. Together, they built more than a garage. They built a new beginning, for themselves, for Pine Ridge, and for anyone who ever felt like life had passed them by. In the end, the story of a single dad fixing a stranger's car became a story about fate, kindness, and the power of believing in someone who's never stopped trying. It reminded everyone watching that sometimes, the most extraordinary transformations begin with a small act of ordinary kindness. And in a world full of broken engines and broken dreams, love and second chances might just be the spark that starts everything again.